On this episode of Game Shack, I'm going to explain why the legacy Gen 2 version of Pac-Man / Pacmania is more important than you might think. Coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I am your host JDV for EvilGeniusEntertainment.com. Okay, so let me just jump right on into it. Since the Gen 2 Namco Bandai Pacmania Gen 2 Pacman cab was announced about 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks at this point, there's been a lot of other things that kind of overshadowed it in the 3/4 scale Arcade1up land. Golden Tee, full size, XL size has been announced and is official, and you can pre-order that now. It looks like they're going to kill off the Killer Instinct Pro cab, which never made any sense at all once the XL line was announced, and maybe the Pro line and the XL line are the same thing. We're not quite sure. Made more rumors about NFL Blitz and some other games, so a whole bunch of rumors, the Golden Tee thing, a whole lot of stuff kind of overshadowed the announcement of the Gen 2 Pac-Man Legacy cab, but there are some reasons why maybe it's the most important announcement so far of 2022 from Arcade1up, and let me explain my thinking on this. Number one is, without the success of Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, Arcade1up might not even exist at all. And number two, without the success of Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, they might not have the financial wherewithal to take chances on games like Killer Instinct or the Drivers games or Tron or some of these other sort of more niche style games that are certainly not going to sell in the same numbers as Pac-Man, but because of the success of Pac-Man, they could go ahead and take a little chance and roll the dice and see if some of these more rare titles are going to succeed. Now, I've owned the 40th edition of Pac-Man and the Gen 1 of Pac-Man. I love that Gen 1 version of Pac-Man. Had the 12 games. They all played great. I think the cabinet was, although a little tiny smaller than the 40th version, they took off that horrible pixel smoothing, or at least gave you the option. Sounded good. I mean, it was a really nice cab that I enjoyed playing all the time, but I sold it because I heard that these Gen 2 games were going to have Wi-Fi, so I figured I need to sell it to get the most money I could from it. Subsequently, the class of '81 was announced, and I would have already bought that game, except that it has Miss Pac-Man as opposed to Pac-Man being the start of the game, and I like Pac-Man better than Miss Pac-Man, so I just wanted to wait for the Pac-Man Legacy cab. So about a week, 10 days ago, that cab was finally announced. And number one, it is confirmed to have Wi-Fi. Now, Arcade1up says that this is a first for a legacy cab, so that is a really good thing to have on any cab, but particularly the lower price legacy cab. Second thing, and the thing that really actually surprised me quite a bit, is that apparently they are going to have three-dimensional molded coin doors. Now, that is a feature that you do not get on the $700 Tron. You do not get it on the $700 T2, so you're seeing much more expensive, premium type cabinets that do not have the molded coin doors, and yet they're here on these legacy cabs, and so that is a really, really good thing. Now, the third kind of thing that maybe is a surprise or not a surprise is that it's going to keep the traditional 3-4-year-old format now of having a foot-tall riser and overall around a 48-inch height. So that might be a plus or minus to you, the fact that it has just the same normal form factor as the past. The other thing is it's not actually going to be branded as a Pac-Man or even a Miss Pac-Man cab. It's going to be branded as a Pacmania cab, which I will tell you why I think they did that in a second. So if you're a Pacmania freak, and for whatever reason that is your game of Pac-Man, then hey, you're going to get a chance to jump in on a relatively rare skin, at least in the world of Pac-Man from Arcade1up. So that might actually be a plus to you. What for sure is a plus to me is the fact that they have indeed added 2 more games to the lineup. So instead of the 12 games that you get on the first gen Legacy, you get 14. And I believe those games are going to be Rolling Thunder and Galaga 88. and both of those games are really, really good. It looks like it's going to be a really solid cab, hopefully priced reasonably, $500 or less. I'm hoping $400, but probably closer to $450 is, I guess, what the MSRP is going to be on this. But that is a pretty good deal because you are getting some of the A-list classic games of all time. Galaga, Galaxian, Galaga 88, Pac-Man, Pacmania. You're getting Dig Dug, you're getting Mappy. Those are some killer A-list titles from that time period with the coin doors, with Wi-Fi, and with that Pacmania branding. I'm thinking what they're doing is they're getting ready to hit us with a Pac-Man XL cab that'll be a nice proper, 55, 58 inches, maybe even taller, but a big tall cab branded in some version of Pac-Man without a riser. Let's say they announce it down the line, say this fall, and it becomes available in early 2023, they can kind of say, well, look, it's been almost 2 years since we put out a branded Pac-Man cab, so that alone justifies us for doing it, because they do take a lot of heat for putting out so many versions of Pac-Man. Anyway, let me know down below what you guys think. Are you interested in a Gen 2 Pac-Man Namco cab at all? Are you interested because it has the Wi-Fi or the coin door or the 2 extra games or all of those things? Kind of maybe if you're on the fence, does that get you to buy into that system? Would you be interested in a Pacman XL series from Arcade1up, a taller, no riser, Pac-Man branded, with the skins on the side, 19-inch screen, maybe better stereo sound, all the things that we've kind of come now to expect or want in an XL cab? Would you be interested in that cab if you had to spend $200 or $300 more than the legacy cab? Please let me know down below what you're thinking. I always love reading your guys' comments. It means a lot to me that you do comment on my videos. It lets me know that you guys are watching and dig it and everything like that. Okay, so that's it. I, for one, am very interested in the Namco Gen 2 series, both because I love those games and for what it means for the legacy cabs. It means the legacy cabs are going to go on, and that to me is probably the best bargain that Arcade1up puts out, are their 4 legacy cabs. Okay, you guys, well, give me a thumbs up on the way out the door if you dig this video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get, notified when videos like this come out. Love each other, and until next time, I'm going to see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah! Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.